The co-main event, Merab defeated Corey Sandhagen via unanimous decision in a dominant performance that showcased his relentless pressure and non-stop pace. With this win, Merab became the first fighter in UFC history to reach 100 career takedowns, now sitting at an incredible 117 overall. Tonight, he landed 20 takedowns on Sandhagen, coming just one short of Khabib Nurmagomedov's record of 21 takedowns in a single fight. Henry Cejudo reacted to the performance, saying, "And still, the greatest bantamweight of all time, and arguably the greatest UFC fighter on planet Earth." He continued, "Merab showcased improved striking, grit, and his world-renowned pace and relentless pressure. He is a great champion." Petr Yan also weighed in, saying, "Good effort from Corey, but Merab was better. Can't wait to test him next." Bilal Muhammad praised both fighters, writing, "That was a great fight. Corey is very good, but Merab is getting better each fight." Rampage Jackson added, "Good fight, Merab just too much." And former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman summed it up perfectly. "Merab is a machine. Hell of a fight from both men." In his post-fight interview, Merab reflected on his performance and his future, saying, "I think Petr Yan looked good, and he's ready. Like I keep saying, I want to stay busy. Hunter Campbell, please, and Dana White, if you have a spot in December, I would love to make a quick turnaround. If not, I'm going to keep getting better, and somebody is in big trouble." This victory not only solidified Merab's place as one of the most dominant bantamweights in UFC history, but it also showed that his cardio, wrestling, and work ethic are on another level. With every fight, he continues to evolve, sharper, stronger, and even more relentless. His pace has become his signature weapon, breaking down world-class opponents round after round. Tonight, Merab didn't just win, he made a statement. Move on to another news. In the main event, Alex Pereira defeated Magomed Ankalaev via TKO in the first round, delivering another spectacular finish to reclaim his spot on top of the world. After the fight, Alex showed pure class and respect, asking the crowd for a moment of silence for Jon Jones's older brother Arthur, who sadly passed away on Friday at just 39 years old. The arena went quiet as thousands paid their respects. Jon later responded on X, writing, "Wow, Alex," with a praying hands emoji. Justin Gaethje reacted, saying, "Alex Pereira, straight inspiration, came back and reclaimed not once, but 2 times. Beast." Henry Cejudo added, "Poatan is back on top of the world." Max Holloway simply wrote, "Damn." Diego Lopez said, "Poatan, no chance today. The champ is back." Renato Moicano called Alex the greatest Brazilian fighter to ever exist. Derek Brunson reacted, "That was quick." Kamaru Usman said, "Geez, Pereira came to thump." Anthony Pettis shared, "Alex Pereira is different." And Petr Yan commented, "That was a reminder that rematches can look very different from the first fight." In his post-fight speech, Alex said, "Vengeance is never a good thing. It's kind of a poison sometimes. I told everyone I wasn't in good condition last time, and nobody believed it. You saw it tonight. It didn't surprise me. I knew I was better. I don't like making excuses, but I've been saying I wasn't well that night. Tonight, I was very well." He continued, "I had a whole speech prepared, but after hearing the news about Jon Jones's brother, I wanted to take a moment to give my respect to Jon and his entire family." Dana White later spoke about Alex's drive and dedication, saying, "This guy's an absolute stud. He's on vacation in Australia, flies over, and fights because someone fell out. He fights when he's hurt. He doesn't care. He wants to fight everybody, even wants to move up to heavyweight. He's a dream to have in this organization." Tonight, Alex Pereira reminded the world why he's one of the most dangerous and respected champions in MMA. The champ is back, and he's scary. Move on to another news. Jiri Prochazka delivered another unforgettable performance, defeating Khalil Rountree via knockout in the 3rd round. It was a wild comeback victory, as Jiri was down on all the judges' scorecards before finding that one perfect shot to end the fight. The crowd erupted as the former champion reminded everyone why he's one of the most unpredictable and dangerous fighters in the sport. Michael Chandler reacted immediately, saying, "Jiri versus Rountree is why we love this sport. Anyone, anytime can turn the tide. What a fight." During the bout, Bilal Muhammad tweeted, "Jiri is nuts. Khalil needs to stay away from the chaos." After the fight, he added, "Stay away from the chaos with Jiri." Ariel Helwani wrote, "Holy Jiri, let's go for that. What a comeback." Matt Brown said, "Jiri is my hero." Anthony Pettis called it the fight of the night, while Adrian Yanez said, "That was absolutely nuts." Kamaru Usman reacted simply, "Holy, Jiri is a madman. Inside the octagon, Jiri reflected on his performance with raw emotion and honesty. "I would like to show every time a little step up," he said. "But this time, I felt like I needed to go through the blood. Like he said, when the blood war will come, it will be necessary. And for me, it was necessary to be really in the game, to really want it, to be in the here and now, and to find a way." It was vintage Jiri, chaotic, creative, and spiritual all at once. Even when hurt, he refused to back down, absorbing punishment and waiting for his moment to strike. When it came, it was brutal. One clean shot that turned the tide instantly. This victory was more than just another knockout. It was a statement. Jiri Prochazka proved once again that when he's in the octagon, anything can happen, and it usually does. Tonight, the samurai spirit rose again, and Jiri reminded the world why he's one of the most must-watch fighters in MMA. Move on to another news. Alex Pereira continues to etch his name deeper into MMA history with yet another jaw-dropping finish. At UFC 320, Pereira reclaimed the light heavyweight title in spectacular fashion, defeating Magomed Ankalaev via knockout in just 80 seconds. With that, Alex became a two-time light heavyweight champion, holding belts in 2 divisions, 3 UFC titles in total, and 3 successful title defenses. His highlight reel now rivals that of anyone who has ever stepped inside the octagon. But now, the question echoes across the MMA world. Has Poten done enough to become Brazil's GOAT? Renato Moicano certainly believes so. Moments after the fight, he tweeted, "Poten, the best Brazilian fighter to ever exist." That statement sent shockwaves through the MMA community, sparking debate among fans and fighters alike. In the fight itself, Pereira walked Ankalaev down with cold composure, stalking him like a predator in control. Just over a minute into the first round, he uncorked a devastating punch that sent Ankalaev crashing to the canvas. Without hesitation, Alex followed up with brutal punches and elbows, forcing the referee to step in. In doing so, he avenged his loss from UFC 313 in emphatic style. It was pure redemption and pure dominance. Pereira now holds victories over some of the biggest names in MMA history: Ankalaev, Jiri Prochazka, Jan Blachowicz, Jamahal Hill, and Sean Strickland, all former champions. His resume is stacked with killers, and his success across 2 divisions puts him in rarefied air. Some argue he has already surpassed the legacies of icons like Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo, Amanda Nunes, and Chris Cyborg. The MMA world exploded with reactions. Kamaru Usman wrote, "Geez." Pereira came to thump. Matt Brown called him straight inspiration, adding, "Came back and reclaimed not once but 2 times. Beast." Justin Gaethje said, "Alex Pereira, back atop the light heavyweight division, that was quick." Derek Brunson reacted, "Alex Pereira might retire with the belt, only strikers in position to challenge." And Renato Moicano doubled down, repeating, "The best Brazilian fighter to ever exist." From glory in kickboxing to double champ greatness in the UFC, Pereira's story has been nothing short of cinematic. Each time he's counted out, he comes back stronger, more dangerous, more legendary. With every knockout, every title, and every moment of vengeance, Alex Pereira is proving that greatness isn't given, it's earned. The legend of Poten continues to grow, and right now he stands tall among the all-time greats. Move on to another news. Jon Jones has spoken publicly for the first time since the heartbreaking loss of his older brother, Arthur Jones. Arthur, a former NFL star and Super Bowl champion, passed away on Friday at just 39 years old. The news shook the combat sports world, and just 24 hours later, Alex Pereira delivered a powerful gesture inside the octagon following his stunning first-round knockout win over Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 320. After reclaiming his light heavyweight title in dominant fashion, Pereira stood inside the cage, composed yet emotional, and used his post-fight interview to pay tribute to Jon Jones and his family. Speaking to Joe Rogan, Alex said, "We got some news recently. Something has happened, so I want to give my respect to Jon Jones and his whole family. I want to ask everyone here and everyone at home to take a moment of silence for his brother." The entire arena went quiet. Thousands of fans stood still, paying their respects as the moment carried deep emotion and unity across the crowd. It was a rare and touching moment of humanity in a sport defined by aggression, toughness, and competition. Pereira, known for his stoic demeanor and warrior-like presence, showed pure class, setting aside his own triumph to honor a grieving rival and his family. Many fans and fighters later said Alex had planned to call out Jon Jones after his victory, but instead he chose compassion over confrontation. The gesture quickly went viral, with clips circulating across social media, captioned simply, "Pure class." Jon Jones later responded on X with a short but powerful message, "Wow, Alex," followed by a praying hands emoji. That simple post said everything. The respect between two champions, one inside the octagon and one outside it, was undeniable. Jon's response reflected gratitude and recognition for Pereira's unexpected tribute during one of the biggest nights of his career. Pereira's actions resonated deeply with fans worldwide. Moments like this remind everyone that beyond the rivalries and highlight reel knockouts, fighters share a bond of mutual respect. Even at the pinnacle of victory, Alex showed empathy, humility, and heart. It was an act that transcended the sport, a reminder that greatness is measured not only by titles and knockouts, but also by character and compassion. Following the tribute, fans flooded social media with praise. Comments poured in, calling the moment beautiful, powerful, and a true sign of respect. MMA legends and analysts echoed the sentiment, applauding Pereira for showing what being a true martial artist really means. In a weekend filled with chaos, adrenaline, and history, that brief silence spoke louder than any roar of the crowd. Alex Pereira honored a family in pain. Jon Jones responded with grace, and the entire MMA world paused to remember Arthur Jones, a champion in his own right. It was a moment of respect, honor, and pure humanity inside the fight game. Move on to another news. Dana White has officially shut down Conor's recent claims about his long-awaited UFC comeback. The former two-division champion made headlines earlier this week after saying he was in talks with the U.S. government to fight at the White House, and later claimed that he had already signed a deal to return to the octagon in June 2026. But according to Dana White, none of that is true. Speaking at the UFC 320 post-fight press conference, the UFC CEO set the record straight once and for all. "We are still talking about the production and how everything is going to work at the White House," Dana said when asked about Conor's latest comments. "We have not started negotiating any fights for the White House yet. That won't start until February." He made it clear that no bout agreements have been discussed, no contracts have been signed, and no meetings with President Donald Trump's team have taken place. Dana continued, "Conor wants to fight on that card, and you can clearly see Conor is very fired up to fight on that card. But nothing is done yet, and no fights are being negotiated with the White House." The UFC boss emphasized that while the White House event is in active development, Conor's supposed comeback deal is pure speculation, at least for now. This clarification comes after Conor stirred up social media with multiple posts about his official return, hinting that his comeback would be tied to the highly anticipated White House card. Fans around the world erupted with excitement, believing the Notorious was finally stepping back into the cage for the first time since July 2021. But with Dana's latest statement, it appears that those claims were premature. Or, as Dana bluntly put it, two lies. The UFC has yet to confirm any fights or fighters for the White House event, which is expected to be one of the most ambitious productions in the promotion's history. Dana has said the logistics alone are massive, involving coordination between the UFC, the U.S. Secret Service, and government officials to make the event possible. For Conor, though, the desire to headline such a historic card seems real. He's been posting training footage, teasing opponents, and declaring that 2026 will mark the biggest comeback in combat sports history. Still, Dana White's comments made it clear, until February, everything remains just talk. So for now, the hype continues to build, but the facts remain unchanged. The White House card is in motion. Conor wants in, but nothing has been signed, and no fights are confirmed. Once again, Dana White has reminded the world that in the UFC, nothing is official until the ink is dry. Moving on to another news, the MMA world is buzzing after Merab once again proved why he's one of the most dominant champions in the UFC today. At UFC 320, Merab delivered a record-breaking performance to retain his bantamweight title against the ever-dangerous Cory Sandhagen. The fight was fast, technical, and full of non-stop action from start to finish. Cory came in with his slick movement and creative striking, while Merab brought that relentless pace, world-class pressure, and improved stand-up that had fans on their feet all night long. Belal Muhammad was quick to share his thoughts after the fight, giving huge props to both men. "That was a great fight," Belal said. "Cory is very good, and Merab is getting better each fight." The respect between elite fighters was clear, And Bilal's words summed up exactly what many fans were thinking. Merab's evolution is something special to witness. Former two-division champion Henry Cejudo also chimed in and didn't hold back his admiration for the Georgian powerhouse. Chap and still! The greatest bantamweight of all time and arguably the greatest UFC fighter on planet Earth, Cejudo posted, following Merab's performance. The energy in the arena was electric as Merab raised his hands in victory once again, extending his winning streak and proving that his cardio and consistency are second to none. Cejudo later went into more detail, praising the improvements in Merab's overall game. Merab showcased improved striking, grit, and his world-renowned pace and relentless pressure, he wrote. He is a great champion. That statement echoed throughout the MMA community, with fans and fighters alike agreeing that Merab continues to find new levels every time he steps inside the octagon. From start to finish, Merab was in control. Corey had his moments with sharp counterstrikes and movement, but Merab's persistence, volume, and takedown pressure were simply too much. It was a statement win that reminded everyone why he's the undisputed king at 135 pounds. As the crowd roared and the belt was wrapped around his waist once more, Merab stood tall, humble as always, representing his country and his team with pride. It's clear he's not just defending his title, he's building a legacy. Fighters evolve, champions rise, and Merab's dominance continues to shine brighter with every fight. What a night it was at UFC 320, and what a moment for the bantamweight division.